So glad you could make it.
This ends tonight.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for DC's most emotional and epic animated fights. While we're mostly focusing on one-on-ones, we'll include duels that feature assists or duos. And beware of spoilers ahead.
You took everything from me! Now I'm gonna make you pay!
Number 10, Future Batman vs. the Joker. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker.
I'm taking you in. Right.
You're out of your league, McGinnis.
Batman and Joker's rivalry can be seen in dozens of shows and movies, but this is one of the most unique among them. Thanks to a DNA microchip implanted years earlier, Joker resumes his criminal career in the far future. But it's quickly put to an end when he comes across Terry McGinnis, and he's nothing like the Batman he's used to. Instead of being stoic and disciplined, Terry fights dirty and makes wisecrack.
What are you doing?
Fighting dirty.
The real Batman would never...
Told you didn't know me.
This makes Joker realize that he's not only unprepared to deal with this new Batman, but that he's also vulnerable to heckling. And in the end, the clown gets a poetic final death in which Batman gets the last laugh.
Ha! Ha!
Number 9, Wonder Woman and Vanessa vs. Medusa. Wonder Woman Bloodlines.
I promise to turn her to stone before I take off her limbs.
Now that I will not allow.
The Princess of Themyscira is known for her epic battles with mythological gods and monsters, but her best one has to be her fight with the woman who can turn anyone into stone, Medusa. But this fight goes a little beyond your typical third act finale. With no other way to counteract Medusa's deathly stare, Diana blinds herself so she can face her head on, a moment that's ripped straight from the comics.
No! Look at me!
As you wish.
The painful strategy pays off in a huge way. When the enraged Gorgon rampages throughout the Mascara, Diana and the reformed Silver Swan barely manage to gain the upper hand on the villain. Future Wonder Woman battles will have a hard time topping the epic highs of this fight.
My little girl, you were a true Amazon today.
Number 8, Robin vs. Psychotech, Teen Titans Trouble in Tokyo. In a memorable scene, Robin is forced into a fight with a ninja working for the villain Brush Shogun.
I want answers. Real ones.
Psychotech initially doesn't seem like too much of a problem for the boy wonder, but it quickly escalates as Robin loses his patience. After taking some nasty hits, Robin tries to end the fight by throwing explosive batarangs and tackling Psychotech off a building. Yet, he still isn't satisfied. In a rage, he continues to beat on the assassin until he stops moving. It's later revealed that Robin's anger was deliberately exploited so that he'd get arrested.
I am sorry, my young friend, but you leave me no choice. I must place you under arrest.
It's also shown that Psychotech isn't a real person. But neither fact takes away from their clash's gripping intensity and shocking finish.
Please, I didn't mean to. He had a power. He could regenerate. In this, it isn't blood. He wasn't human.
Number 7, Green Lantern Lyra Amato vs. the Golden Dragon. Green Lantern Emerald Knights.
I come as an emissary on Tomoke. I'm not here to fight.
Many Lanterns choose to form massive and complex weapons, but Lyra Amato takes a more traditional approach to combat. In this anthology, the Green Lantern returns home to bring justice to her people. She eventually learns her father, Kentor, has gone mad with power and he'll fight anyone to keep it. You'd expect someone with the ability to construct anything to end the conflict quickly. Instead, Lyra gives her dad a fair fight by using weapons of her people. At one point, she loses her ring and still manages to lay him out.
Now, things are as they were meant to be.
While it doesn't focus on the incredible power of a Green Lantern, the duel is a fantastic display of animated fight choreography. and it definitely made us fans of Lyra Amato.
I see now. The true protector of Jade is not the Golden Dragon, but Lyra Amato.
Number 6, Supergirl and Superman versus Darkseid. Superman Batman Apocalypse. Darkseid usually gets into fights of epic proportion. This one in particular had him going up against both the Girl and Man of Steel. After a turbulent trip to Apocalypse, Clark and Kara take a much needed break in Smallville. But the all-powerful villain ambushes them and tries to kill Clark in a brutal beatdown.
I gave my word I would not come for the girl. Your death, however, is long overdue, Superman.
Even though Superman's blows create devastating shockwaves, the new god still uppercuts him into orbit. That's when Supergirl decides to unleash her fury.
My Omega beams will reduce you to ashes.
Take your best shot.
Thanks to some training from the Amazons, Kara manages to put Darkseid, of all people, on his heels. Superman eventually returns to help finish the fight. This epic scene just proved that picking a fight with 2 Kryptonians is the worst idea anyone can have.
Don't ever come here again, or you won't be going back.
Number 5, Wonder Woman vs. Aquaman. Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox.
You murdered my wife, Diana.
She tried to assassinate me, Arthur. I was protecting myself.
This time travel film showed us some horrifying takes on DC's greatest heroes. Batman is a ruthless killer, and Superman spent his entire life in prison. Most important of all is the world-threatening feud between a bloodthirsty Aquaman and Wonder Woman. The story's climax forces nearly everyone into trying to stop them.
I can't believe I ever loved you.
You never did.
But the rage of the Atlantean and Amazon is just too much to contain. Their battle is as dire and violent as you'd expect in a film like this. And it ends with Diana driving a sword into Arthur just as he sets off a bomb that destroys everything.
What I do now, I do for the good of all.
As do I.
While the Flash eventually sets things right, seeing these two go at it is something we won't forget. Number 4, Superman and Trigon versus Darkseid. Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
So, you are one of the so-called new gods. I am unimpressed.
Apocalypse War featured a face-off that no one saw coming. When the last of Earth's heroes finally reached Darkseid, John Constantine enacts an insane plan. He frees the demon Lord Trigon from his prison. The embodiment of evil proceeds to possess Superman's body and use it to decimate Darkseid. For a while, it seems like they might come out on top together, but after Superman exercises Trigon, he takes on Darkseid himself. The dynamics change again when a free Trigon decides to step up and clash with the apocalyptic ruler until the bitter end.
And now, new god, let's see who shall rule and who shall serve.
It's pretty satisfying to see Darkseid get knocked down a peg. To make matters better, this was the final fight of a connected DC universe. Number 3, Batman vs. Red Hood. Batman Under the Red Hood.
Ah, you and your gadgets. You're not the only one with toys. Crap.
When a revived Jason Todd returns to Gotham, he executes a plan to clean up Gotham and kill the man who murdered him, the Joker. This unsurprisingly puts him at odds with his former mentor. Their resulting feud culminates in a tense fight that's as intense as it is heartbreaking.
Tell me, what bothers you more? That your greatest failure has returned from the grave? Or that I've become a better Batman than you?
You're ruling through intimidation and murder. You're just another criminal.
Every time one man gets ahead, the other counters with a smarter strategy. Despite coming off as vengeful and unhinged, Bruce still sees him as the kid he raised years ago. But that doesn't stop him from delivering quite a beatdown. In the end, Batman physically bests the Red Hood. However, he can't bring Jason out of a dark mental state. No Batman fight since has felt quite as potent and emotional as this one.
I'm not talking about killing Penguin or Scarecrow or Dent. I'm talking about him. Just him. And doing it because he took me away from you.
Number 2, Superman vs. Doomsday, The Death of Superman.
I don't know what hole you crawled out of or where you came from, but I'm sending you back.
We've seen the Man of Steel fight Doomsday across various mediums, and each time, Superman is pushed beyond his limits. But this 2018 film is where fans got to really see him let loose with glorious animation. With everyone in the Justice League down for the count, Superman is the only member left standing. And boy, is it something to behold.
You need to call in the cavalry.
I am the cavalry.
The force of their attacks are so severe that they break a bridge and entire buildings. Every frame and hit is rendered with absurdly gorgeous animation. By the end, Superman's love for Lois Lane is ultimately what pushes him to win the day. But just as the film's title suggests, this epic fight concludes at a great cost.
Is he?
Yes. You did it. You saved everyone.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Batman vs. Owlman, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. The Dark Knight dukes it out with a very nihilistic version of himself. Deadshot vs. Joker, Batman Assault on Arkham. Joker gives the accurate assassin the fight of his life.
For someone who's not Batman, you've been a real pain in my ass.
Zatanna vs. Felix Faust, Justice League Dark. The magic superhero proves she's more than just a stage magician. Batman vs. Joker, Batman the Killing Joke. An iconic, humorous, and surprisingly tragic showdown.
Why aren't you laughing?
Because I've heard it before, and it wasn't funny the first time.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Batman vs. Superman, Batman The Dark Knight Returns, Part 2.
We don't have to do this.
Sure we do.
This adaptation comes with plenty of great moments from the source material. The fight between Bruce and the mutant leader was especially great, but when it comes to pure spectacle, you just can't beat Batman's confrontation with Superman. This sequence has just about everything you'd want from a clash between two of DC's greatest heroes. Mechanized bat armor? Check. Literal groundbreaking punches? Check. At one point, we even get to see Batman use a wrecking ball as a weapon. And just when we think he's about to lose, Bruce defeats the Blue Boy Scout with help from Oliver Queen.
What are you doing? Do you want me to kill you?
Oh, you're not going to kill me. Now!
It's a great conclusion to a long-awaited fight. And what really drives it home is the Dark Knight's epic victory speech.
I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Which animated DC fight would you want a front row seat to? Let us know in the comments down below.
Really? Who do they send after you?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.